comes to surgical abortion access across the province, all things are not created equal, not even in the Lower Mainland. According to the province, there are 30 locations around BC offering the surgical procedure.
This is a critical issue for all Canadians and British Columbians. Any change to access to abortion will be over my dead body.
The gestational duration of the pregnancy is 23 weeks and 4 days. So here in BC, the dilation and evacuation procedure, as it's called, or procedural abortion, is available up to 24 weeks and 6 days. I do know that this week is full and then next week is full.
Okay.
So in terms of this particular procedure, having it here in Canada or here in Western Canada, this is probably the last 3 days. That doesn't mean that people still don't have abortion options. People have the option of having a termination with an induction abortion, they call it. So that means they actually induce labor in the body. And people can have that choice, and there's a longer time frame for that option. People also have that option in certain clinics in the states that are safe. So most of the provinces have an arrangement where people can get, because it's considered essential healthcare, so people can get essential healthcare in the state, and the medical care itself may be covered by their province.
So like the travel and all that would have
Travel and accommodations, they can request funding from the National Abortion Federation, so it's not, we'd always want to try to get you something where they do, but then the cost of the medical care itself is covered. So the closest to us here, and probably to Alberta, is probably going to be in Seattle. So in Washington, just from here, it's a couple hours drive down. So that's the place that ideally you try to coordinate for people because it's close. And it usually involves being there for 3 or so days, usually. So Seattle's the closest. Colorado is another place that it can all be done. It's just we won't be, it will be like 1 day turnaround, most likely. But it is possible. So I just don't want you to think I'm totally this or nothing. Any pregnancy that happens, whether it's planned, whether it's unplanned, abortion is always a possible outcome.
Can you tell the body part and stuff, or?
I would say that probably the doctor can. So at 24-ish almost weeks, it's not. So sometimes people think it's a full baby that's just smaller and smaller,
right?
And perfect, but small and just gets bigger. It's not exactly like that, but I would say there's more shapes that we would that would resemble like human or queer baby, like the human shapes that we would say at this time. About 60% of unplanned pregnancies do not go forward. They do end in abortion because people are it's not the right time, I'm not ready. Life has been so uncertain these last few years, or I have health concerns, I already have kids, just any reason you could think of, but there doesn't have to be a reason. It could just be, I don't want to be pregnant.
I just feel like it's so late that I think that's the biggest thing.
If you're having this procedure at 16 weeks, 14 weeks even, and now the procedure is no different. It's actually the same procedure. The part that's different is just the amount of cervical preparation beforehand. For a pregnancy to survive at this stage outside of the uterus is incredibly rare. With the induction process, that same medication that ends the pregnancy is given before. So it's over 20 weeks, any type of end of pregnancy, however it happens, is considered a stillbirth. Canada doesn't have a technical limit as to a limit for abortion care, which is why there can be induction options passed. Ontario and maybe Quebec. Ontario definitely has a longer range of service, including with induction abortion, but in some cases, because of limited capacity, like from the hospital or medical side to provide. They limit it to, like in our case, it's just BC residents. You would like to open it up for like all Western Canada, but there's just a limited staff. Sometimes you think, like, gotta know 100%. But actually, what in life do we know 100%? You know? Here in BC, the dilation and evacuation procedures, it's called a procedural abortion, is available up to 24 weeks and 6 days. I do know that this week is full and then next week is full. People have the option of having a termination with an induction abortion, they call it, so can have that choice, and there's a longer time frame.